The night began like any other, chilling in the living room after a long day at work, until we heard a sound that didn't belong. A knock, sharp, deliberate, hollow, echoing through the thin walls of our apartment. It came once, then again, faster this time, as if whoever stood on the other side was growing impatient. We lived on the ground floor of a narrow, aging building in Portland, Oregon, tucked between two coffee shops and a laundromat. My roommate, I'll call her Sarah for this narration, was halfway through folding laundry when she froze, one hand still gripping a towel. The noise came again. I remember how the air felt thick, how even the hum of the refrigerator seemed to stop. The light in the hallway flickered once, then steadied. There were no footsteps outside, no voices, only that knock, rhythmic and slow, travelling through the wood of the door like it knew we were listening. Neither of us moved. We waited. Then it came again, 3 knocks this time. I went to the peephole. What I saw there didn't make sense. 2 figures stood just outside the door. Kids, maybe 12 or 13. Their faces tilted upward toward the light above the porch. Their skin looked colourless, their hair too neat for the hour. The streetlight behind them cast their shapes into a blur of motionless silhouettes. I leaned closer to see their faces, and then I froze. Their eyes, completely black. Not just dark irises, but the entire thing. Pupils swallowed everything, glossy and endless. There was no shine of light, no reflection, no sign of life. Just black voids staring straight into the peephole like they knew exactly where I was. A chill ran through my arms so fast it felt electrical. Sarah whispered my name from behind the kitchen counter, but I couldn't move. The smaller one lifted a hand and pressed it against the door, palm flat. The sound of skin on wood was louder than it should have been. The knocking stopped. The air became unnaturally quiet, like the world had paused. I stepped back from the door, heartbeat shaking in my chest. Sarah came over and looked too. She gasped softly and stumbled backward. I wanted to tell her not to panic, but my throat refused to form words. Then came the tapping, this time on the window near the sink. We both turned. A shadow passed across the blinds. 2 silhouettes again, smaller now, crouched low. The sound was faint, but steady. Tap, tap, tap. I could see the faint outline of fingertips moving along the glass, slow and deliberate, as if tracing patterns only they could see. Sarah grabbed her phone. The screen flickered, then went black. She pressed the power button again. Nothing. I tried mine. Dead too, though it had been fully charged moments ago. The microwave clock blinked erratically, 12 flashing over and over. The hallway light flickered again, dimmed, and went out completely. The only glow came from the street light seeping through the blinds. Another knock, louder, sharper, closer. The sound came from the back door this time. I realised with a sick twist in my stomach that they were moving around the apartment. We both stepped into the hallway, our footsteps muffled against the old carpet. The air had grown colder, heavy with that electric stillness that comes before lightning strikes. The bathroom door creaked behind us, even though it was closed. Sarah turned toward it, but I caught something out of the corner of my eye through the narrow window above the couch. 2 faces, staring in, both pale, both pressed close enough to fog the glass. I stumbled back, hit the wall hard enough to rattle a picture frame. Sarah ran toward the window, then stopped abruptly when the smaller face tilted slightly. The way someone does when they're studying you, mimicking curiosity but without emotion. The fog on the glass spread in small bursts like short breaths. Except they weren't breathing. I couldn't see the rise or fall of their shoulders, only the mist on the inside of the glass that shouldn't have been there. Then came the sound of the doorknob turning. The front door handle twisted once, twice. We'd locked it, but it rattled violently, shaking the frame. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a heavy lamp, and stepped forward, ready to swing. The sound stopped. I lowered the lamp slowly. Then something hit the door. Not a knock this time, but a full-body thud that made the hinges groan. Another hit followed, harder. Then silence again. I forced myself to look through the peephole once more. Empty porch, street quiet. The faint hum of a passing car in the distance. Nothing else. I turned back towards Sarah. She was staring at the wall near the kitchen, her eyes fixed on the light switch. It was flicking on and off by itself, slow at first, then faster, until it stayed on. And then came the humming. It was low, almost mechanical at first, then more human, a strange, tuneless murmur. It came from outside the window, two voices in perfect unison. The sound didn't rise or fall, just stayed flat, like static given form. Sarah covered her ears and sank to the floor. I backed toward the hallway, every step feeling like I was moving through water. Then the humming stopped. For a moment I thought it was over. I thought they'd left. But the silence that followed was worse than the noise. I turned toward the window again. They were closer now, both pressed up against the glass, their mouths slightly open, as if mid-sentence, but no sound came out. The porch light outside flickered once more and went out. The darkness outside was absolute. I reached for the curtains to close them, but before I could touch the fabric, both figures stepped backward at the exact same time, vanishing into the dark. I could barely breathe. Sarah was still on the floor, whispering something under her breath I couldn't make out. The apartment went completely still. Then came one final knock, soft, almost gentle. The sound came from inside the apartment this time, from the bathroom door down the hall. I didn't move. Neither did she. The knock came again, slow, deliberate. I walked to the hallway, forcing my legs forward even as every instinct screamed not to. The light above the bathroom door flickered, then went out. The only illumination came from the faint streetlight through the living room blinds. I reached the door, hand shaking, and pressed my ear against it. Nothing. When I turned to walk back, I noticed something at the base of the door, a faint smear, like dirt or soot, leading out into the hallway. It stretched toward the living room, then stopped halfway, right where Sarah had been standing earlier. My breath came shallow and quick. I turned to her, but she was gone. The living room was empty. Her phone sat on the floor, screen cracked, flashlight still on. The door remained closed, the lock still intact. I called her name. No response. I stepped closer to the window and peered outside again. Two figures stood by the curb, facing the apartment. Sarah was there, standing beside them. I stumbled backward, heart hammering. I blinked, and the figures were gone. All of them. Just the quiet street, a faint mist starting to roll in from the river. Then my phone buzzed. It powered on somehow. A single notification flashed. A missed call from Sarah. Timestamp, 1 minute ago. I tried calling back. No answer. I opened the front door, stepped outside, half expecting to see her on the street. The cold hit my face like a slap. The night was still, empty. Only my own footsteps echoed as I looked up and down the block. Then I saw it, on the wall beside the door, at shoulder height. 2 small handprints, blackened like soot, pressed into the paint. And between them, faintly etched into the surface, a line I couldn't explain. It looked like a number, 13. I backed away slowly and shut the door. Inside, the air had gone heavy again. I sat on the couch, trying to piece it together. The black eyes, the vanishing, the hum, the prints, the call. Every rational explanation dissolved under the weight of what I'd seen. I didn't sleep. The next morning, Sarah came back. She said she had blacked out for a moment, woken up outside near the curb, confused and cold. She had no memory of leaving the apartment. Neither of us could explain the prints. We contacted the building manager, checked for camera footage. Nothing. The exterior camera had stopped recording at 11:42 p.m. and resumed again at 2:05 a.m., showing nothing but an empty street. That afternoon, I found a local thread online, old posts dating back years, describing encounters almost identical to ours. Knocks, kids with black eyes, the same silence, the same vanishing. One post even mentioned a number written near their door. 13. We printed everything we could find. Photos, timestamps, locations. We don't know what it means yet. We don't know what they wanted, but we're going to find out.